recording, so
Okay.
swear away.
I just don't really know. For a cold open, you just really need to just ask a random question.
Would Indiana Jones have worked better with a lady?
That's not a question.
Well, it's literally a question.
That's a question
It's
that
not
will
a
last
good
half an hour.
It's not a good question.
No. Let's talk about Harrison Ford.
Hello, I'm Sam,
Hello, I'm Ian.
and we welcome you to the second episode of the Deep Dive 5. We weren't cancelled by ourselves after the first one. A show where we dive into 5 topics regarding the career of a filmmaker or actor and their latest film or TV show. The great Harrison Ford has a new film coming out. It's called Captain America Brave New World, the highly anticipated 35th. That is correct. 35th film.
35. That's insane.
I know. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Ford plays the role of Thunderbolt Ross, taking over the role from William Hurt, who sadly passed away in 2022. The film is due for its worldwide release on the 14th of February. So Ian, what is Captain America Brave New World? And does Harrison Ford's casting improve the chances of the film becoming a success?
So this is a really interesting podcast because we literally have begun by literally just talking about Brave New World and the new Captain America, new Marvel film that's coming out. I think more importantly, though, we've decided to frame this around Harrison Ford because
Yes, of
he's
course.
probably more interesting than us talking for half an hour on Brave New World because, I mean, both of us haven't really been up with the new phase or anything like that. So
No.
I think let's pose the question, shall we? So what are we saying? Harrison Ford, is he going to sell the movie or not? Is that what we're essentially saying?
That is the question.
Right, cool. Right, so let's do a deep dive, shall we? Do you want a little bit about his career?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll go into his backstory. I mean, Harrison Ford has probably got the most famous backstory in film, but it's always nice to bring it to light. So, Harrison Ford was born in 1942 in Chicago. His first foray into acting was taking drama classes in high school to cure his debilitating shyness. It was here where his love for acting blossomed. In 1964, Ford moved to Los Angeles and signed on to a talent program through Columbia Pictures. For the next 10 years, Ford could only find small roles and so famously became a self-taught carpenter. Finally, Ford found success when he was cast in the George Lucas film American Graffiti. The next Lucas-Ford collaboration would change cinema forever with the release of Star Wars in 1977. Since that year, Harrison Ford has established himself as a film icon for many generations and has worked with some of the biggest names in Hollywood while starring in many classics of cinema. I mean, just reflecting on his films,
It's nuts, isn't it?
has he got the best run in the history of Hollywood films? And if he doesn't, who does?
Yeah, he's got a pretty good hit list. I mean, he's also got a lot of kind of nothings, like stuff that didn't really go anywhere or perhaps wasn't that great. But for the most part, that is a good CV, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
mad
So
CV.
from American Graffiti came out in 73, and then basically from 73 to 1997 when he made Air Force One, he didn't really make that many bad films.
I don't know. I like What Lies Beneath. Let's take it to 2000.
We're going to go all the way
Let's
to
go all
the,
way
to the
2000s.
21st century.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
So what is that? That is 27 years
not
of
bad.
being at the top of his game.
I think the biggest run, though, I mean, you can't. This guy literally goes from Han Solo to Indiana Jones, like
By accident.
just playing the same guy. He's the same guy.
No, I wouldn't say so.
The everyman. Like he's so good at being that fish out of water. Though he's just like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? Like he's remarkably Han Solo and Indiana Jones is what you imagine Harrison Ford would be like in real life because he notoriously doesn't give a hell. He doesn't care.
No.
So like he kind of has that in those characters too. But like a funny tidbit about like Star Wars, apparently because of American Graffiti and his work that he did with George Lucas, he didn't actually read the part of Han Solo. He was basically, George Lucas gave him the role of being the person who reads the script with other actors. Did I say Han Solo? Harrison Ford. He gave Harrison Ford
Yeah.
the job of reading with other actors. So he basically was Han Solo 300 times and then got given the role because he was reading the part with other actors.
Yeah, there's a few sort of like famous stories regarding him. Like one of them was that apparently how he got the role in American Graffiti was that he was fixing Francis Ford Coppola's like office,
Yeah.
and he met George Lucas through this. yeah,
Apparently they just walked in one day and they were just like, we're hiring for a film. Do you want to trial for it? Yeah, all right, I'll give it a go.
because famously he wasn't supposed to be Han Solo, and he definitely wasn't supposed to be Indiana Jones, because that was meant to go to Tom Selleck, who found greater fame in Friends.
Really?
I'd say
Magnum
so.
PI?
That moustache, though.
Yeah, true.
Have you ever seen a single episode of Magnum PI?
No.
No, I don't think anyone has.
Not one.
Post 1987.
Let's talk about his films then. So, at the very beginning of the list, I mean, I have to stick this one out immediately. American Graffiti.
Yes.
What type of a role is it? Is it major? Is it minor? It's enough to be noticed, right?
So Harrison Ford, his first, I would say, starring role of note was in fact Raiders of the Lost Ark, because in American Graffiti he doesn't really have a huge role. Is he essentially a bully in a car in American Graffiti? And that's basically who he is. He's just basically like the cool guy in the cool car who's like mocking Ron Howard's character, or Richard Dreyfuss's character. And then you have Star Wars, where I would say the main character is Luke, Mark Hamill. The Han Solo doesn't even appear until half an hour into the film?
Yeah, but I mean, you would still say it's breakthrough anyway.
It's a breakthrough, but I'm talking about like the leading man of the film.
Oh yeah, as a lead, probably as a main or something like that. He's still top billing on obviously most of these. Like he's 3 or 4 credits in most of them.
Well, I think what I'm saying is it's not like Robert De Niro is Taxi Driver.
No, but
that kind of thing.
De Niro would have done side things before he did Taxi Driver.
Where he's like the lead, and I don't think Harrison Ford is the lead, because he does Apocalypse Now for like 5 minutes at the start, which is like, it's just amazing. And I love the fact that he's called. I think he's actually called in the film Lucas.
Okay.
As like a little.
But Band of Brothers is a bit like that, right? Like Band of Brothers, the TV show that came out, the Spielberg one. Yeah. Like that has so many famous people in it that are now so much bigger than they were when they did Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers, Damien Lewis is the lead.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Is that there's so many other people that have gone on to have bigger careers. Yeah. It's not until you look back at Band of Brothers you go, oh, they were in that.
Oh yeah.
So like, it's that type of thing. Like more so than obviously not going to be a leading man for a little while. Like he's not going to be like what you would say a traditional movie star. He's not going to be like Clark Gable, or like he's not going to be top billing on it for a little while. But to have a breakout role in American Graffiti, for instance, is mad.
It's a breakout role, but it's not. It's only interesting. It's a bit like Apocalypse Now. It's only interesting, like you say, looking back and being like, "Oh my god, he was in that for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes."
Yeah,
but I don't think.
And they're significant. They're not like roles that you would turn around and say, "Oh, it's nothing." You know,
no,
it's not like he was just like a waiter or something like that was just kind of a bit forgettable. Like he was a role with the speaking part.
I think his film debut was actually as a waiter.
He was a bellboy. There's a couple of them where he's just a bellboy, and apparently the director turned around and was just like, "You don't have it."
Yes.
Tony Curtis has it.
Yes.
You don't. And it's like, well, okay. So he kind of just...
Yeah. Does anyone below the age of 45 remember Tony Curtis?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say...
No one, apart from, his daughter.
I mean, I think he basically has complete control of the 1980s. So in the 1980s, Harrison Ford, get this, was in Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Blade Runner, Return of the Jedi, Witness, which is his only Oscar nomination, Mosquito Coast, Working Girl, and The Last Crusade.
That's not bad.
That is amazing.
That's a good run.
I mean, a grand question would be who had a better run. I think in my head I've worked it out. It is probably De Niro, who is the only one who could probably contend with Ford's run of film success.
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe DiCaprio now. DiCaprio maybe has a shout in that.
Yeah.
Like it's not just longevity, it's the quality and how memorable all the performances in the films are.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many people, for instance, that would have... I mean, you don't know it at the time, right? But when you think about the franchises that have spun off of Harrison Ford's one-offs, you just think that's just mad. I mean, to be fair, I mean, you also have to look at within time and context, right? Looking back with hindsight, you turn around and say, Blade Runner's insane, right? Like,
yes.
At the time it flopped. So, like, the grand scheme of things, like, in the 80s, everyone would just go, no, that was a bomb. Like, it didn't do very well. But it's not until now with hindsight that you would turn around and say, okay, that's pretty good. And then when you see what it spawned as well, and the within the sequel, you kind of go, oh, okay, this is special, like, in terms of what it actually produced. But, I mean, to be honest, there's no denying, obviously, the Star Wars effect.
Yes.
Like, where that went, how much money that earned. Apocalypse Now, all the accolades that got behind it. It's not a bad run at all, is it? Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's now a saga. A bit like Star Wars,
amazing,
probably.
Yeah.
5 of them.
There's very few actors that are tied to two absolutely like mammoth like franchises.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally talking the Zoe Saldana effect. Like,
Yes.
the fact that she's like the highest grossing actor of all time. It's that thing. And you kind of got to imagine that, particularly like if it kicks off with him and he's in a few more of the Marvel movies,
yes,
that's going to be insane. Like the numbers that he's going to start adding onto his high grossing, or his lifelong gross is going to be insane.
Well, I suppose that's a good way of segueing into one of the questions. So what we're talking, everyone knows Harrison Ford, but the legacy of him and all the brilliant things he's been, and as you say about, I mean, he must be one of the highest grossing actors ever. Does his appearance in Captain America: Brave New World enhance the film? And do you think the film will be a success? Because we're talking about, in a weird way, two absolute mammoths of the film industry. One as an actor and one as just sort of, I mean, it's the 35th film in a now near 17-year film series. Not even talking about the shows.
I mean, the thing as well, you've got to realise that the role that he's in, he's replacing someone. So it's not even like
great William Hurt.
Unless, because he was close with William Hurt, right? Was that the rumour,
so.
or that the conversations where he was quite close with William Hurt, and this was kind of a way to pay homage to him, essentially?
I believe so.
Not to say that he probably wasn't invited to be in the Marvel movies probably a lot earlier than that, but you got to think about the role. So unless the idea is this is going to be them retiring that role because it's like it's a string that's left over from other franchises, like Eric Banner, Hulk, you're talking that far back. So like when you've got like that kind of legacy to the character, there's an element of like, is he in this just to retire the character? Like, are we going to see, I mean, we've seen it from the trailers, it's Red Hulk. The role that he's playing, Thaddeus Ross, it's a good character, it's a good role for him. If you look back at like his career and stuff like that, you kind of think to yourself, right, if they are retiring him, there's roles that he has retired. He's retired Han Solo, he's retired like, I mean, you could arguably say after the last one, Indiana Jones. If he has retired those roles now, then he's in a good position to retire Thaddeus Ross, if that's the way he's going down, particularly in light of obviously Hurt passing away and all that as well, right? So I think it's a good role. If you look at the role specifically, he's high up in, obviously, the presidency. So Air Force One, obvious place to go with that, where you can kind of take some comparisons and say that's pretty good. If you're looking at like villain roles, What Lies Beneath, I'm going to keep bringing that up because it's great.
Yeah, it might be one of his very few villainous roles.
Yeah, because he's typically an everyman, right? Harrison Ford, in most of his roles, he's the every guy that's thrown into a non-every guy situation.
Yes.
Right? Fair enough. Okay, sci-fi kind of edges sand down a little bit with a lot of his roles, but he's still ultimately that character, right?
Yeah.
He's like the grizzled cop in Blade Runner. He's the smuggler, the scoundrel in Star Wars. He's Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
It's just that whole idea of it's just like, this is a normal guy that feels the same stuff. He feels scared. He feels hurt. It's that character. So you can imagine he's going to kind of take on those skills into the Thaddeus Ross role within this. And I think because of that, I think it's in safe hands.
Do you think that this is a good project for him to take part in, considering the state? Would you say the MCU is in a state?
Oh, absolutely.
Even after Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hugely rate Deadpool Wolverine.
No, it doesn't have a lot of substance. Style over substance.
Exactly. So I still think it's not in a great place. And I also think like it suffers a little bit because this is the first Captain America film without Chris Evans. Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't do exactly great. So like, I'm intrigued to see it. I'm not going to be at the front of the queue to go and see it, which is unusual for me.
Well, that's the question. Does Harrison Ford's appearance in this change anything? Like, for example, do you think that his appearance in this film will enhance the numbers? Or do you think at this point it just doesn't matter?
Oh, it probably doesn't. I don't know whether or not star power really has a thing now with Marvel films.
Well, Indiana Jones, the recent Indiana Jones film, it's very hard to know whether it was down to him or just more the blundering of Disney. Because he's great in Indiana Jones. We've had this conversation previously.
And he's great in that. To be fair, I liked Star of Destiny. It doesn't move the needle.
I'm more talking, it was like a box office bomb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's an unwise, that's a 300 million budget on a film like this. It's like, really? Like, that's not good business choice. Like, it just really isn't. Like, you're going to put that money behind a Marvel movie, sure. In fact, you might put that money behind a Marvel movie and get 2 movies out of it if you're filming stuff back to back. It doesn't make sense for
Yeah.
an Indiana Jones film. That just doesn't make sense from a business point of view. If you'd have made that 100 million, you would have got probably a pretty penny off of it, and you would have got some more content for Disney Plus. It didn't need 300 million. Well, they're saying that, but there's a lot more behind the 300 million budget. COVID and all of that lot kicked in.
Do you think that, I mean, we're talking about star power. Do you think, because the villains, because Giancarlo Esposito is also in Brave New World, and you've got Harrison Ford, do you think that they've brought these supporting actors in because of Anthony Mackie's lack of star power?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think so. Marvel have just had a habit of putting in famous people into famous roles. So I think it doesn't hurt to have these names attached. But you're also looking at kind of... Giancarlo Esposito is a bit different, but like Harrison Ford is now an aging actor as well. So like he's not going to draw the same crowds. He's not going to draw the same money. It's more for icon level, kind of star power. Michael Douglas wasn't ever going to sell seats to Ant-Man, right? So, but he's still in it as that kind of icon, older guy, scientist, is a character that everyone would recognise, you know? I think probably Harrison Ford is going to play the same role here, like in that it's just a good excuse to get someone on the card.
How much screen time do you think he'll get?
I don't think he'll get much.
Is it? Well, I mean, it's this is the other problem. Like the Red Hulk thing has just completely overwhelmed this.
It's all the trailers.
Yeah.
All the trailers are Red
Which
Hulk.
for me is a very bad sign for the film that they've basically like shown their hand in like every possible trailer.
It really depends. So there is also an argument that is this just going to turn into a Green Hulk versus Red Hulk movie? Because Anthony Mackie's not going to be able to fight Red Hulk. Like it's just not going to be a thing. Like they might be able to do like an iconic Shield versus Punch, which I think is on the posters anyway, right?
Yes.
So that doesn't really change things. But in reality, it's just going to be another platform for Mark Ruffalo to come out of this. Because Mark Ruffalo can't have his own film. So it's another excuse to tell a Hulk film from that. And just to give context to that, it's because Universal still hold the rights to individual Hulk movies. And Disney can't make an individual standalone Hulk movie. That's why we haven't got it. It's why we've had Thor Ragnarok. It's why we're probably going to get something later on the line. But it all depends on whether or not Universal revert the rights back.
Yeah, because the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, that was under Paramount Pictures when Marvel was owned.
It's Universal. Universal own it. Universal own the Hulk, and 20th Century Fox had
the X-Men.
X-Men, Daredevil, all of that lot. Rights then reverted back. Obviously, Disney bought 20th Century Fox, but Sony had Spider-Man and Blade and stuff like that. But then they didn't make any more in some of the franchises, so the rights like Blade and that reverted back to... Blade was 20th Century Fox, wasn't it? Anyway, the rights all reverted back to Disney somewhere along the line because the other studios didn't make them. So they like kind of leased the characters. And Universal have Hulk, which is why you get random Hulk movies that come out every now and again with like Eric Banner's one, Ang Lee made, which is the most philosophical movie ever made. And then that's then why you get Edward Norton's Hulk comes out, and then obviously then Disney then could then run with it.
We have no reviews for this film. How do you feel like it will do both in critical standpoint and box office? Because I think it would be a box office success regardless.
I think it'll be you say that. Quantumania, I think, hit things hard.
The thing is, like Ant-Man, I think Ant-Man 1 was the success it was because it was during Marvel's sort of prime.
Well, Ant-Man didn't need to be a success. Like, that's the whole point of Ant-Man. The success of Ant-Man was the fact it didn't need to be. So it could be whatever it wanted. And they did. They successfully did it. So Ant-Man 2 then spawned out of that because it made just enough money to make a sequel. And then he was then the funny off-kilter side of like Civil War. You could bring him in as comic relief. So Ant-Man has kind of existed within that franchise as the comic relief. So the fact that he's had individual films as well is actually amazing because actually in reality it's like, how? Just keep the budgets low on that and you will get a decent return on it. It's the same as with comedy, right? You're going to make it on the same engine as that, right? Whereas Captain America, I think is going to be this Brave New World. I think is going to be an interesting one. I just don't know how it's going to land. It's got a 14th of February release,
yes,
which is also in Disney's new window, right? So they basically created this window for blockbusters because of the success of Marvel. They didn't normally used to have a release date. Black Widow launched around this time as well. And it was just because of the fact that it went outside of Blockbuster because they realised in October they could release like Thor Ragnarok and it could earn $1 billion. February is a new market. It's a new area. They've just had, I'd say, a small break, so it could do well. Yeah, I think critically, I think it'll be okay. I think like in terms of, it's had a lot of reshoots. Not that is a good or a bad sign, but 9 out of 10 is kind of a bad sign.
Yeah.
Lots of reshoots, so that's going on. I really hope the CG is better than Quantumania because there was a lot of issues with that. I don't really think they know what they're doing with it yet, so I'm not holding out much hope that it's going to be an absolute banger.
I do hope Green Hulk shows up because obviously it's coming out around Valentine's Day. So if like Red Hulk and Green Hulk meet up,
The love affair of the ages.
are they lovers?
Is this what lies beneath again? The Red Hulk beats the shit out of.
I think the biggest problem that Brave New World has is that I don't think anyone has any idea what the hell is going on in Marvel anymore. So people are going to go into the film and I don't know how popular the TV shows is in terms of like the broad scale. Do people still think Chris Evans is Captain America? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he might be coming back as Captain America as well, right?
Well,
like a Doctor Doom variant of Captain America.
I think people are just confused. I think this is will this be one of the last films that will be hindered by the Disney Plus stuff? Because obviously, yeah, this is because this is another thing.
I wouldn't say it's been hindered. A lot of the Marvel stuff hasn't been hindered by it. Like the ones,
I think
the ones that
Captain
have been,
Marvel was
Captain Marvel 3 or the Marvels.
The Marvels.
That was massively hit by it. But you're now looking. That's 2 years old now. So you would have had a slate of non-releases because most stuff got pushed anyway into this year.
But this is the issue. It's technically Captain America 4, isn't it? But it obviously has nothing to do remotely with. Was that Civil War?
Civil War would have been the last Captain America.
So I think it will be hit just by the fact that it just doesn't.
It
doesn't have a lot going for it.
I don't think so. I think it'll wash its face.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe it. I think it will earn its money back, but it wouldn't surprise me if we kind of go back to Captain America 2, Iron Man 2 money, where we're not looking at like stratosphere amounts of money, but they just need to get the train moving again. If this is a platform in which to do that, then there has to be an element of like, you're not going to just be able to just go off and earn billions again, because even Deadpool is a third installment of a franchise that people love, that we're expecting things to kick things off again. It's a hard one, but I think like, I'm kind of hoping critically it kind of does well for itself. It kind of is, it encourages second watches because it's good to kind of see a bit of an injection again, as it was last year, into the cinema industry of like cash and all that lot again. But whether or not it does really well, there is a lot of adverts for this.
Oh, it's
there
everywhere.
is so many. There's so many trailers now. I'm surprised that it hasn't been ruined.
Going back to Harrison Ford, do you think that this is his last big foray into like blockbuster territory?
Just at this point, I wouldn't say write him off.
I mean, he's 82.
I mean, you say his big blockbusters that he's done, he's revisited characters.
Yes.
And he's revisited storylines. He hasn't got many to revisit.
No, well, I mean, obviously, spoiler alert, Han Solo is gone.
He's diminished.
We've just wrapped up Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Blade Runner?
No real need to kind of revisit it.
Okay. Are we looking at the end? Not the end, that's a bit too cynical, but
I think we're at the end of the blockbuster
Are the lights coming down on the Harrison Ford bonanza that has been, I mean, that's 52 years?
I think we'll probably see a transition now. Do you reckon? Like, we'll see him move into different
I
platforms.
hope he does. I mean, he's doing television a lot more now.
Apparently 1923 is 23, isn't it?
I've seen 1923, and it just makes me think why he didn't do westerns previously.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know you can say Star Wars in a way is westerny in terms of what he brings to the table. Indiana Jones, somewhat, but he hasn't really done like full blown westerns. Yeah, I think this is his first proper role, and he sort of fits into it like a glove.
Oh, he's in Shrinking as
and
well.
the other
isn't he?
show, Shrinking.
Apple. Apparently that's doing quite well.
Yeah.
Second season of it just come out. So.
But I think actors of his generation, they're all, the stuff they like is in television.
The movie star-led movie doesn't exist anymore. We're currently in a phase of IP-led movies.
Yes.
Where it's more about the character you're bringing to screen and the story that you're telling and the sequel that you're doing, the reboot-quels and the prequels or whatever they're called. It's more that. So I think that era has kind of ended. Can Han Solo, Harrison Ford find a place within that? Who knows?
Yes.
But otherwise, it's hard to kind of guess at this point.
I mean, it is an amazing run. Like,
insane run.
It's what is your personal favourite?
Good question. I really like Blade Runner, particularly with what happened with 2049. Like, I think looking back on that, I think that's a really cool character to kind of explore, and he does it really well. The big thing about Blade Runner, which I've never really understood, it's probably like my hot take. A lot of people have always said is Deckard the replicant or not?
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
No,
And actually, 2049 goes out of its way to tell you how much that doesn't matter.
that's just
And
Ridley Scott.
That's where no, it's not Ridley Scott. That's Denis Villeneuve. He had complete creative control over
No, in terms of people thinking he's a replicant.
Oh,
That's completely Ridley
yeah,
Scott.
absolutely. No, but that was always a conversation that was always coming up beforehand. It's what people would ask, like whether or not Ridley Scott raised that as a talking point or not is another thing entirely. But it's still interesting because it's that it brings new light on the story and the choices that he's making. And it's does he know it? Does he not know it? He's then in Rachel's shoes in terms of he's a replicant but doesn't know it. And then you have then with 2049, you have the whole thing with then Ryan Gosling's character just being like Ryan Gosling's K is the name of it's almost like his serial number. He knows he's a replicant, but he's kind of shunned because he's hunting other replicants. So it's a really interesting kind of like philosophical thing, like philosophical discussion, I suppose, under the guise of this like noir storytelling. There's the femme fatale, there's all that lot to it. So from that standpoint, I think those two, you can't deny Han Solo. Han Solo just as a character is so cool.
Yeah, he carries, well, in many ways, I think he sort of like carries Empire.
Yeah.
He basically, Han Solo in that film, he stopped, until like he gets tortured by Darth Vader, but he sort of like carries like the lightness of that film because it's very bleak.
Yeah.
And I think all his scenes in Empire are like amazing.
Yeah.
And
he's also really fun in Force Awakens. Like as much as it's
He's
New
always-
Hope again, I still every single time he gets on, he's like, Chewie, we're home. Like that is an iconic part of the trailer that kind of everyone going, oh yeah,
Yeah.
actually this could actually be quite interesting. And I think that is his charm
Yes.
personified on screen.
He's a very interesting actor. I don't want to say my hot take is he actually a brilliant actor?
Yeah. Or
But-
is he just himself?
But he just has such like presence.
Yeah.
And he really, really,
He's really charming.
fits. Yeah.
Honestly, we was in preparation for this. I was watching some of his back movies and stuff. Is he actually the most handsome man alive?
I think in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he has sort of like that bit of a stubble, he might be the most handsome.
He's
man
the
on
most
screen.
handsome man alive, like without a doubt. Like I was watching it, and I was like, "This really? This guy is cast as an everyman, really? It's insane." Anyway, to me, is just what a run, like an insane run. And I think if you hold these movies in front of mind, the character of Thaddeus Ross is in good hands. Whether
Yes.
or not we can actually turn around and say, "Go and see this movie for Harrison Ford." Is something entirely actually could we? If you were a Harrison Ford enthusiast, I would probably say, yeah, go for it because he's got more hits than misses. He's kind of got that roll down.
It's the only reason why I'm going to see this film.
Yeah.
Which is why I mentioned the question at the beginning because he does have that he has that hold over me.
Yeah.
Where it's similar to like Clint Eastwood. Like no matter how old they are, it's just their presence on screen.
Yeah.
And it's they have like this huge legacy. I mean, Indiana Jones might be my favourite film character ever. Like The Last Crusade is like almost like a perfect film. I know it has its detractors. I can understand why people think Raiders is better because it's the first film, and I think it has a lot more going for it.
Yeah.
But I think Last Crusade is just such a wonderful little like father-son story. And one thing I will say about Harrison Ford, he's a really underrated comedic actor.
Oh, absolutely.
Like his delivery and his comedic timing is like faultless.
Yeah.
It's what carries a lot of Force Awakens.
It was what carries most of his career.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt, he has that. That's why I suppose I mentioned it about like the everyman character to start because he's not an everyman. Like even we just mentioned, we just sitting there going, how handsome is this guy? He's not an everyman in that sense.
But he does.
But the way that he delivers a line and the way that he says things, you could imagine sitting at a bar with a mate and them chuck that line at you.
Yeah.
Or we'll pull that face or be like, are you joking? Like, this is ridiculous. I'm in a ridiculous situation. What am I having to do here? That is relatable. And that's then where it becomes an everyman.
Yeah. Do you think, going back somewhat to his sort of where does he go from here, do you think that he will try and find a film to like get an Oscar? Because it's very interesting that he's only been nominated. It sort of goes back to is he actually a very good actor kind of thing? Or is it about his presence?
It goes back to the age-old question. Is he an actor or is he a movie star?
Oh, he's a movie star. Like,
And that's-
but
I think
that's what.
that
Do you
says it.
think it's out of all these films, because it's hard with Star Wars and Blade Runner to get nominated for an Oscar? But looking at his filmography, do you think there should have been a film where he could have been nominated?
I mean, I personally think he might have been trying to do that with Call of the Wild.
Oh God.
Well,
Yeah.
it does kind of tick those boxes. I mean, pretty much. You look at the poster of that, and then you look at the poster that was Robert Redford's last film, the one where he was on the boat. I can't remember what that was called now, but like very similar. It's like that whole tale of survival, and we'll put an animal in there. All is lost. That's it. And so it's not really. It wouldn't surprise me if he was trying to hang his hat on that one, but obviously that ended up being one of the COVID movies, wasn't it? Where they tested the water with Disney Plus. So I don't know. I would like to. I wouldn't like him to stop. Put it that way, but I wouldn't want to see a CGI version of him running through a street fighting bad guys again. I think that time has perhaps come to an end.
Yes, I agree. In terms of does he care about an Oscar?
No.
The one thing that has also carried Harrison Ford is his absolutely hilarious down-to-earth persona.
Oh yeah.
There are so many like legendary interviews and just all sorts of stuff from the 80s where he's always sort of been the same guy. He's very down to earth. He doesn't really care about fame. I mean, his attitude towards Star Wars is absolutely hilarious. Yeah. And I think that has also attracted fans.
Yeah.
He just comes across as just sort of like he's like an enormous figure in entertainment. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
Who just likes acting to cure shyness.
Yep.
No, I'm excited for Brave New World. I'm
excited to see what Harrison Ford does with the character in A Brave New World. Is that the best way, the most succinct way that we can finish this off?
That's it.
Without saying,
Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of the Deep Dive 5. We want to hear your opinions on the career of Harrison Ford. What would you rank as his career peak? Do you think he will win an Oscar one day? If you would like to get more out of The Real Project and the Deep Dive 5, you can find us on Spotify. Goodbye and see you soon.
bye.